Hey everyone, so I know we've all been hearing about the Cybertruck for what feels like forever now. Right, but here's the thing. There's a new player in town that's turning heads and honestly making a pretty compelling case for itself. I'm talking about the 2026 BYD Shark 6. And trust me when I say this thing is seriously worth your attention. Now, before you click away thinking this is just another Chinese vehicle trying to compete, hear me out, because this pickup truck is actually making some bold moves that put it in direct competition with not just the Cybertruck, but also trucks like the Rivian R1T. And it's doing it at a price point that's going to blow your mind. We're talking about a fully loaded model coming in around $47,000 in some markets. Compare that to the Cybertruck, which starts way higher, and you start to see why people are taking notice. Let's talk about what makes this truck special. Starting with the powertrain, because this is where BYD really shows off. The Shark 6 runs on what they call their super hybrid technology. It's got a 1.5-liter turbocharged engine working together with 2 electric motors. And the numbers are impressive. We're looking at a combined output that delivers about 430 horsepower. What that means in real-world terms is this thing moves. It's got serious acceleration and plenty of grunt when you need it. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just a straight hybrid. It's a plug-in hybrid, which means you've got a decent-sized battery pack. Now that gives you around 100 kilometers of pure electric range, depending on how you drive. And when you factor in the gas engine, you're looking at a total range of up to 800 kilometers per tank. That's absolutely massive. You could do serious road trips without worrying about charging stations or fuel stops every few hours. Now, let's get into the off-road capability, because if you're buying a pickup truck, you probably want to take it somewhere other than the grocery store parking lot. Right, the Shark 6 has been designed with serious off-road chops. It can tackle steep inclines and rough terrain without scraping its bumpers or getting stuck. The ground clearance gives you plenty of room to clear obstacles. They've also equipped it with premium suspension both front and rear, which is pretty nice for a pickup truck. This setup means you get a much more comfortable ride on the road, while still maintaining that ruggedness when you venture off the beaten path. And speaking of off-road, there are dedicated terrain modes, including mud, sand, and snow settings. Plus, you've got hill control features to keep everything stable when conditions get tricky. Towing capacity comes in at 2,500 kilograms, which is about 5,500 pounds. Now, I'll be honest, that's a bit less than some of the diesel competitors. But for most people who aren't hauling massive trailers on the regular, this is more than enough for boats, campers, or whatever you need to move around. Moving inside, and this is where the Shark 6 really surprised me. The cabin is genuinely nice. We're talking premium materials throughout. A massive rotating touchscreen that's either 12.8 inches or 15.6 inches, depending on the market. And it actually rotates between portrait and landscape mode, which is pretty slick. You've also got a digital instrument cluster behind the wheel. And there's even a head-up display in the higher trims. The sound system is a 12-speaker setup from Dynaudio, which is a premium audio brand. So your music is going to sound fantastic. There's wireless phone charging, multiple USB ports in both the front and back, and the whole system supports Bluetooth connectivity, digital radio, and even has voice assistant functionality. It's basically got all the tech you'd expect from a modern vehicle, and then some. One feature that's really cool is the vehicle-to-load functionality. What it means is you can actually use the truck's battery to power external devices. So if you're camping or at a job site, you can plug in power tools, a fridge, lights, whatever you need. It essentially turns your truck into a mobile power station, which is incredibly useful. BYD has also included their advanced driver assistance system, which gives you things like a 360-degree camera, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, all the safety features you'd want in a modern vehicle. It's a comprehensive suite of driver aids that make long trips and daily driving much less stressful. Now let's talk about design because this is subjective, but I think BYD did a pretty solid job here. The Shark 6 has a bold, aggressive front end with LED headlights and a distinctive grille design. It doesn't look like it's trying to be a Ford or a Toyota. It's got its own identity, which I appreciate. The body lines are muscular without being over the top. And the proportions are spot on for a midsize pickup. The bed is a decent size and should handle most of what you'd need from a truck. There are tie-down points, bed lighting, and all the practical features you'd expect. It's not trying to be a full-size American pickup, but for the mid-size segment, it's very well proportioned. One thing that reviewers have consistently praised is the build quality. People who've gotten hands-on with the Shark 6 have mentioned that the fit and finish is really impressive. Doors close with a solid thunk, panels line up nicely. The interior materials feel premium. It's clear that BYD put serious effort into making this feel like a quality product. So how does it compare to what BYD has done before? Well, this is actually their first pickup truck ever, so there's no direct predecessor to compare it to. But if you look at BYD's other vehicles like their SUVs and passenger cars, you can see that they've been steadily improving build quality, technology integration, and overall refinement. The Shark 6 represents them taking all those lessons and applying them to the pickup segment. The pricing is honestly one of the most compelling aspects. In Australia, it starts at around $57,900. In some other markets like Mexico, you can get a fully loaded version for about $47,000. Compare that to the Cybertruck, which starts way higher, or the Rivian R1T, which is even more expensive. The value proposition here is really strong. Now, there are some considerations. It's not available everywhere yet. BYD is rolling it out in markets like Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, parts of Asia, and the Middle East, but it's not in North America broadly yet. So if you're in the US or Canada, you might have to wait. Also, while the towing capacity is decent, it's not class-leading. If you need to tow really heavy loads regularly, you might want something with more capacity. And some people might prefer a fully electric option rather than a plug-in hybrid, though honestly the hybrid approach gives you so much more flexibility, especially if you're doing long-distance travel or going to remote areas. The other thing is that as a new entrant in the pickup market, BYD doesn't have the decades of reputation that brands like Toyota or Ford have built up, but based on the reviews and hands-on impressions, so far they seem to have done their homework and delivered a genuinely competitive product. Overall, the 2026 BYD Shark 6 is a really interesting option in the pickup truck space. It combines serious power, impressive range, legitimate off-road capability, a premium interior, and a ton of technology, all at a price point that undercuts most of its competition by a significant margin. For someone who wants a capable truck that can handle daily driving, weekend adventures, and the occasional work task without breaking the bank, this is absolutely worth considering. So yeah, forget the Cybertruck hype for a minute and take a look at what BYD is doing with the Shark 6. It might not have the same cult following yet, but it's delivering real value and real capability. And that's ultimately what matters when you're spending your hard-earned money on a vehicle. If it's available in your market, definitely check it out, take a test drive, see what you think. Because this could be the pickup truck that changes how we think about what's possible in this segment. Alright, that's it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you consider the Shark 6 over the more established names? Catch you in the next one.